Welcome to Extreme Watercolour. Today we have come to explore the industrial north. This is a landscape that has forged its identity through the men and women of Middlesbrough, Hartlepool and Stockton-upon-Tees, working in the steel mills, shipping, engineering and chemical industries. This is a landscape that has seen good times, hard times and hopefully good times again as the proposed powerhouse of the region and the kickstart of jobs, wealth and prosperity. This is a region of immense pride and dignity, and a place I feel deserves to be painted.
Today we've come to the mouth of the Tees, Redcar, Middlesbrough, a mighty industrial landscape. All of this landscape here is reclaimed land from the slag, from the blast furnaces of Middlesbrough. I'm hoping today to get some sort of response to this industrial landscape. As usual, it's a grey, dull sky. Let's hope we get a painting that kind of represents the feelings that I'm having now about this industrial landscape, and something of really, something to express something of the beauty of this landscape, something of the sublime, which you'd often see in mountains, but which I experience here in this industrial landscape.
I'm also a keen photographer. This location is one of my favourite places to visit, and a vantage point to see cargo ships leaving and entering the port of Middlesbrough. You get a sense of place here and its connection to the outside world and the global markets that trade and import goods. This place is etched deep within the psyche of the local people, who visit to fish and have fun and play in the shadow of the mighty blast furnace.
I've painted here several times before, and this is a landscape really that inspires me as a painter. Across there is seal sands. I mean, seals still go there. And we could actually see just over there a couple of lads fishing in the water. A few years ago when I was painting at Seal Sands, I actually saw a lorry full of coal. They've been picking up coal off the sand, and it's a practice that's been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. And that's quite exciting as a painter. It's inspiration as a painter. But here at Paddy's Hole, you know, built on the slag of the blast furnace, which has been pumping out steel for 100 years, you can really get a real sense of history and this industrial past. And for me, it's an inspiration as a painter. And I think later on, when I start painting, those ideas will start coming through in the brush marks and in the approach to the painting, and hopefully produce something good. I think the first hour, 2 hours, when you're out painting, you know, it takes you that long just to get settled in, really. It just gets you that long just to kind of tune into the environment. It takes you that long just to get a sense of what's going on and the space and the colours and the light. And to find a little bit of privacy. I mean, painting in a landscape can be quite difficult. I've painted in landscapes where you thought you was miles away from anywhere, and within 20 minutes you've got every man and his dog standing by you watching you paint, which can be off-putting. But I think I've developed a knack really where I'm kind of saying to people, just keep away, I'm concentrating. And by and large people do really, they're just curious. Which is fine, you know, everyone's enjoying the landscape in their own way, aren't they really? So, what I'm thinking about are tones of grey, Payne's grey, green. I'm looking at the windmills as well there, the wind farm that's out in the North Sea. And yeah, it's an amazing industrial landscape, it really is. It's quite inspiring. One of the things I'm thinking about is how I'm going to tackle this, how I'm going to start this painting. I've just done a brief drawing. I always do a brief drawing. I always use a level as well, just to make sure I get the skyline straight. There's nothing worse than a wonky skyline. But I'm thinking about Payne's grey, because if you look at the colours now, it's all tones of grey, well actually green as well, and a little bit of brown, sandy coloured beach, but really it's all about the grey today. So I'm going to make this a very quick impressionistic painting. As I said before, it looks like the rain's about to start in about 20 minutes. So I've got about 20 minutes, half an hour at the most, to have a crack at this. And I think sometimes when you're painting very quickly, you're less inhibited. So what I'm going to do is just go for it and then concentrate on the painting, and maybe have some reflection and think about the process a little bit more. It's going to struggle a little bit. Hopefully it'll flow naturally. I hope you're painting all in one go. But often than not, a painting it's a real battle. It's a real struggle. But I'm feeling quite sparky today. I'm feeling quite inspired by this landscape. So that's kind of getting me all kind of psyched up for the painting. So let's go for it.
Painting should be a dynamic and exciting, unpredictable process. There are tricks and techniques which we develop as artists, trademark brushstrokes or subject matter. However, we should always strive to create something new, something that challenges our skills and stimulates our imagination. My style of painting involves a large degree of risk, chance taking and opportunity. The process can often go wrong. This is due to hesitations, lack of confidence or conviction in the idea. The danger for the watercolour painter is to change direction halfway through the painting, to lose concentration or to be influenced by the new lighting conditions. The aim should always be to plan and execute your strongest idea. When I am painting, I'm oblivious to everything except the subject. Nothing matters. I don't have a care in the world. All is about realising an idea that is half formed within my imagination.
I'm pleased to say I've finished. It's been quite it's quite an easy painting, but also quite difficult painting. Easy in the sense that I was inspired to paint this picture and inspired to respond to this landscape, particularly South Gare and this incredibly industrial but beautiful landscape. And it's also difficult because I'm under pressure to try and paint something for the video or for a magazine or just for myself really. And so quite pleased with the outcome. I got into the zone, and often than not when I'm painting and I don't speak, it means I'm actually painting. So I've not actually there's not much commentary for this particular video at this stage because I'm just simply painting. I'm in the zone and I'm thinking about the painting and then responding to the colours and the shapes and the sky and the I mean, look at the light that's coming through now. I mean, an hour ago, 2 hours ago, it was absolutely whizzing it down. And it wasn't very hopeful, but that's the beauty about landscape painting. I'm coming out and painting in being a plein air painter. We set off this morning, pretty miserable, had a hearty breakfast over in Redcar, and from then on it just got better and better and better. And I think as we began to film and to explore this landscape, I had a sense of what I wanted to do, and I had a sense of how I felt about this landscape. And it's all become to come together really. So I'm quite pleased with the final painting. At this stage, saying that, I often take my paintings home and then have a second look and then decide how how I think about it. But at this point, I'm quite happy with it because it says what I want to say about this landscape, but it also says something about how I feel about this landscape, how I'm responding to this space and its industrial beauty, really. It's the best way I can describe it, industrial beauty. I've had a good day's painting.
At the end of the day, I jump into the Land Rover and head off home. I'm tired, hungry and exhausted after my public battle with the landscape. However, as always, I get sidetracked by the thought of a well-deserved beer and a chance to reflect upon the day. Painting is a physically demanding process. It can be raw, exposing and mentally exhausting. A day in the landscape can be more demanding than a week in the studio. However, the results are more honest, truthful and indeed, in my opinion, worthwhile. This is the life of an artist. This is what I do.